It is the morning cryptos, and it is day number 2 of my new 90-day challenge to go deep into the rabbit hole of the Bitcoin cryptoverse. And today, I've taken 2 days off, and we're going to look at the markets. We're going to see what's up, what's down, what's cool, what's hot, what's not, and let's get started. Start the music. All right, so a lot is going on, so I'm gonna just get back into the groove here. It's kind of weird when you take a couple of days off when you're doing something so intensely, and then you just kind of take a step back and suddenly realize that, oh, there's other stuff in the world besides cryptos, right? And that's good. I think that's healthy. Today, let's just take a quick peek at the Bitcoin price on Google. See if there's any news. Bitcoin price and futures fall on January 2nd. Bitcoin adoption by businesses in 2017 news. Yeah, that's not going to be good news. Ripple Litecoin offer better returns than Bitcoin. Which cryptocurrency is better? That's the thing, is who knows what the story is going to be this year, but Bitcoin has kind of been hugging the $13,000 mark here over the holidays, and there's other things going on. So could be an interesting year. Does Bitcoin get its act together? Does it become usable again? Because right now it's not usable. I will do everything I can to avoid it because the transaction times and the fees, and I got really kind of burnt. I took a lot of profits up here into Bitcoin because I'm a newbie. And by the way, people, I will say this over and over again. I've only been doing this a short time. I'm not giving you advice. Please understand that. I'm not an expert in trading. I'm learning how to trade. And I'm willing to learn how to trade in front of you because I'm not afraid of being a doofus, right? I'm not afraid of being a fool. And I'm not afraid of making mistakes or failing, because that's how I learn. So, that being said, this is my opinion, and only my opinion. And if you want really good trading advice, check out a guy named Data Dash. Check out a guy named Ryan at Crypto Grinders. And another guy who I think is worth listening to is Crypto Investor. And those links should be below this video. So, but if you want to hear about your own mind and the emotional stuff that comes up when you trade, and if you want to see someone actually making mistakes and trying different things and being willing to learn, that's me. And if you like that, please subscribe, give me that thumbs up and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, if I can speak through my gronkiness here, Bitcoin is kind of a strange creature for me anyway, and this is personally my opinion, and I want Bitcoin to succeed. Please understand that. It has become really, really difficult to use as far as a user experience. Yes, it's a wonderful store of value, but I have found that the altcoins are a way better store of value, and there seems to be a lot less risk and a lot less anxiety associated with them. For example, on most of the exchanges, you either have to buy or sell with Bitcoin or Ethereum, and the Bitcoin markets are always much more liquid. So I took a lot of profits back before Christmas into Bitcoin because I didn't really know what else to do, and so then I had a position in Bitcoin way up here at the top. And then when it started to drop, I didn't want to just close it out. I didn't want to sell in a panic, right? So I held on for a while, and when it came back up here to 15,000, I did get out. Because I just felt like I don't know if Bitcoin is going to go back to 10,000. I can't read it. I don't. I can't understand it the way some of the other projects that I believe in I can read. Does that make sense? And I'll talk about that in a little bit. But I just want to kind of grind through some of these so you guys can see what's going on if you want that. I will talk about Cardano because right now I think I bought it at 44 cents and it's now up into what? It's 76 cents at the moment. And Cardano, for me, I took a really big position in Cardano because I started doing some research on it. And I watched interviews with Charles Hoskinson on DataDash, as well as, I forget her name, interviewed by a young woman who seems to be pretty damn sharp. And also I watched his whiteboard presentation. And what I came away from that with is confidence, the feeling that this team of people is doing everything humanly possible to correct all the problems that Bitcoin has. And to me, that feels so much better than investing in something that has so many problems and it is so high that, like, where's it going to go, really? You know, and I'm grateful to Bitcoin because it broke the trail. Bitcoin is, you know, the history-making, fundamental shifting idea that has ignited this entire other world of human endeavor called digital assets. Peer-to-peer currencies was the idea, but Bitcoin is not usable. And I've said that before. Sometimes I've been pissed about it. Other times I'm kind of sad about it. But the bottom line is I'm pretty wary of Bitcoin. And yesterday I took some profits in Stellar Lumens, and I popped them into Bitcoin, but then I popped right out of Bitcoin and I bought some Verge. I like projects that, you know, are below $1, right? I like projects that are below $1 because I can buy a lot of them, and then I can sell small amounts of it and take profits as I go, and I can still keep a position as it rises, but I can take profit. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about. That's what's on my mind today. And so let's kind of grind through these. I want to look at Bitcoin on the 1 hour chart just to see if it's doing anything that I can recognize as any kind of pattern. And it kind of is. If I wasn't thinking at all about Bitcoin's usability or any of that fundamental stuff, and I looked at this pattern here in my short experience as a pattern reader recognizer, and that's one thing I'm pretty good at. I don't know a lot about moving averages and crossing overs and Fibonacci's and Gabaduchis. I don't know a lot of that stuff, but what I do know is patterns. And this pattern, to me, where the bottoms are kind of the same and the tops are kind of the same, you know, you can bring it down right here, that often signals a breakout. The challenge is it going to be a breakout to the upside or a breakout to the downside, right? So that's one pattern that I look for, and I would not be surprised if Bitcoin had a breakout to the upside and made another run for 16 here or 15, somewhere in that vicinity today. But again, I'm going to be in and out of Bitcoin only when necessary. I'm not going to be holding it. If it crashes back down to like 10,000, I might get in. But it's such a roller coaster ride that I just don't feel comfortable holding it. And I don't know how the hodlers do it with Bitcoin. I don't know how they just kind of sit there and watch it, lose 50% of its value and then go up and then come back down. And I don't know, that to me is more anxiety than it's worth, right? And again, I will come back to this over and over again, and I apologize if I repeat myself. I just want to make sure I say this clearly. My experience is in the human mind, and in particularly in my hypnosis practice over the years, And I'm not seeing clients at the moment, but in the past I have seen a lot of people and helped a lot of people overcome anxiety. And so I know that anxious feeling in my body, and I know when I don't want to do something that causes that anxiety. And Bitcoin in me causes anxiety. The other cryptos don't. The other cryptos I seem to be able to handle a lot easier. So that being said, let's crank through some of these other guys. And we'll go to the 1-day chart first, and then we'll dial in. Bitcoin Cash. Now, this is an area where I made a pretty big newbie mistake. Back when things were cranking, I had profits, and I was like looking, where can I put some profits? And on the 1-hour chart, I saw what I thought to be an entry signal, and I got in. I think I'm in at 3,400 in Bitcoin Cash. So I'm not in the money here. And I want to, I think we can learn from our mistakes, so I'm not going to hide that fact. And I'm going to show you, maybe some of the dumbass stuff that I've done. Maybe I didn't get it at 3,400. I think I got in here. I saw this rising channel here. The bottoms were higher, and I saw this as one of my favorite entry points, where the bottoms were higher and the tops were about the same. And that usually has been a moneymaker for me. And so maybe I didn't get it at 3,400. I think I got in, okay, so I'm not as bad as I thought. More like, I kind of got in right here at the apex of this thing, because I'm like, this thing's going to pop. And actually, it's not as bad as I thought. I think I got in right here. What day was this? This was 12/26. No, I got in earlier than that. I got in over here. Somewhere. I don't know where I got in. I wrote it down, but that's not the point. Let's just say I got in here, right? Because this is a signal that has worked like a charm for me. The rising bottoms and tops at the same spot, right? And usually that indicates it's going to pop, right? So in this case, it didn't, because of the Christmas holiday stuff. And the big lesson I had was, next year, I'm going to basically kind of get out of the active trading mode before the holidays. I'm going to take my profits, if I have any, and I'm going to, hunker down and just kind of take some time off, maybe take a couple of weeks off, go for a trip, do something fun, whatever, just to clear my head. I think that's really important. And this year I was just grinding through, because I hadn't yet traded through the holidays, and Ryan over at Crypto Grinders was really clear. People, take your profits and give yourselves a break. And I'm like, oh, right? So I don't always listen to good advice. So anyway, it dropped, right? And then we had a little recovery, and then it dropped even more. And now it's making, on the 1-hour charts, a pretty big sideways channel. And who knows what it's going to do next. I think it will probably recover and get going again, particularly if Bitcoin starts, not doing so well. I think people will start moving over to Bitcoin Cash. And I think merchants will start accepting Bitcoin Cash, because it's designed to actually solve some of the problems in Bitcoin scaling. So, all that being said, I don't know if it's a good time or not to do anything with Bitcoin Cash, and I think I'm somewhere around here, probably where this yellow line is, or it may be, I might have gotten in as a, some other dumbass place based on not enough information and, whatever. So, yeah. I don't know what else to tell you. I just want to really emphasize how absolutely dumb I can be, and to learn as much from my mistakes as you can. Because if you can learn from my mistakes, it can save you from making your mistakes. But the bottom line is, we're all going to make mistakes. Nobody does this perfectly. And that's what I like about this, is that there's such a divergence of opinions. There's buyers and sellers, and they have totally the opposite idea of what they think is going to happen, right? So, anyway, let's keep grinding through this. And man, I'm a little out of practice after 2 days of not doing this, it's kind of strange. I'm in on Bitcoin Gold right here where this arrow is. And so I'm basically at even right now. But when I have seen these sideways trading ranges, and you notice the bottoms are higher, and even this bottom is not much lower. I mean, it's it's really holding pretty well on this little pattern. And these are triple tops. And this is a 1-day chart. So I feel pretty confident that Bitcoin Gold is going to pop. And at least it's going to pop up to 400. And when it goes to 400, I'm going to take profits. That's where I'm going to either take half of it or all of it. And I don't have that much. And this was a practice. Again, I'm practicing this. This pattern to me has been one of the things that has been consistently something that has made me money. Not always, nothing's 100%, but I have done pretty well with these sideways patterns. And I think Bitcoin Gold, it's not a huge project, but I think there's some money to be made here, and it's among the top 20 or so in 24-hour volume, or it has been at least. So that's something that I think I'm going to hang in on. Worst case scenario, I could close my position today without a loss and go do something else if I wanted to, but I'm going to hang in and see what happens. Let's look on the 1-hour chart real quick here. And on the 1-hour chart, we have rising bottoms. We have we kind of a little sideways trading range, and that to me is, you could say it's kind of stalling, but at the same time, it's also kind of building in its value and consolidating and possibly getting ready to pop. So we'll see. It may be a waiting game. All right, let's go to Dash and let's get to the 1-day chart. All right, Dash. We'll see. Dash tends to like a fairly long consolidation period, and we'll see if it comes up to this line or not. If it comes up to this line and comes back down to this line, I would say, hey, we're setting up a nice consolidation thing. If it comes back down to this line, might be a good time to get some. And I get Dash every day with my Genesis mining contract. I have Genesis convert my Bitcoin mining contract into Dash so that I don't have to pay exorbitant fees on small little transactions. And you can do that. So that's the deal with Dash. Let's look in the 1-hour chart here. And we have, it's rising. So I think Dash is probably going to make a break for it. But it's not at the places where I would normally get in if I were looking to buy some. And I think it's pretty high right now. I don't know. I don't feel really. I'm happy to have Dash, and I'm using it, particularly while it's high. I'm using it to buy other stuff with. Not sure how much more room it has to go on the upside. Again, I'm really liking projects that have a lot of room on the upside, that are just as good, if not better, things that improve on Dash, things that improve on Bitcoin, things that improve on Ethereum, but are down, in the $1 range, below $1, below $10, or even below $100 in the case of like Neo. I'm doing pretty well with Neo. So, all right. So let's go to EOS. EOS is one of my favorite projects. That's one that I'm holding. I took some profits in it several weeks ago. I took, some off the top, but I kept my majority of EOS, and I'm just sitting on it and waiting. And I think it's at least going to 10, and it's not even on its own net, right? So when EOS goes and creates and basically pulls away from Ethereum, I think in June is the date, and basically sets up its own network. I think EOS is going to really, really run. So this is one of my long-term holds. This is not a bad place to get in. I think it's a good place to get in. We have a sideways trading range, particularly if it comes back down to this line and holds. Definitely, I might even get some more of it. But I think at $8, good price. You know, I'm not a bargain shopper so much. I'm a quality shopper. And if I can get quality at a decent price, I'm happy. I'm not trying to squeeze every last, iota out of EOS. So I like EOS a lot. I think it's a great project, great team. Has a ton of support. The community is accepting it. People are excited. A lot about EOS on the fundamental level that's good. And on the one-day chart, we had a nice flat period of time where things weren't happening, and then they started making some announcements, and the news really fueled this, and the market really took it and rocked with it. And it's doing pretty well. And right now the volume's down a little bit, so I think it might be a good entry spot. And again, people, it's my opinion. Do I have to say that anymore? What I'm worried about is people basically going, "Oh, you told me to buy EOS at $7, and now it's $2, and I hate you." And I'm like, I don't want to sign up for that, right? If I get any of that stuff, I'll just stop doing this. And what I want is people who are willing to take ownership of their own decisions, but who are willing to balance a diversity of opinions and to learn. And this whole space that I love, what I love about this is it's constant learning. And I love the fact that you guys have really shown yourselves to be some really intelligent people. And the comments you've left, a lot of them have been helpful to me. And I've learned a lot from you guys. And what I'm really interested in is a community of people who are really supportive of each other and who are all each willing to own their own experience. So that's what I'm thinking about today. Thanks for letting me talk. Thanks for listening and watching. I appreciate it very much. And I just was concerned before the holiday because I was in an area that I had never been in before, and I wanted to make sure I wasn't giving bad advice and that people weren't following my advice. Anyway, enough. I'll stop with that. But when stuff bothers me, and I got to talk about it. So EOS on the 1 hour. We have a nice sideways range. And, it's now been well over a week that it's been kind of just futzing around between $6.50 and $9.33, up and down, up and down. That to me I like that. Because that gives me some time to go, you know what? It's kind of right at the mid-range of this channel. So if it goes down a little bit, I'm not too concerned. But I kind of want to get in before this thing pops, right? And this is an opportunity, particularly on the 1 hour chart. If it starts working up to here, I'd be like, that's probably going to pop. But obviously, if it comes down to this line, that to me is even more of a buy signal. If it comes down to this line and holds, I think that's a good entry spot for EOS. So make a note of that. Next one is Ethereum Classic, which I don't own any of. And I'm not too keen on it. I probably won't buy any of this, but I'm just looking at it. And this is interesting. This is like almost a classic Head and Shoulders setup here. I don't know much about classic technical trading jargon, but we got a head here and we got two shoulders. That looks like kind of a Head and Shoulders. But and it looks like it wants to pop. Again, not my cup of tea so much, but I'm keeping an eye on it just to see if I can learn. And maybe it's, if I see a pattern kind of like in Bitcoin Gold, I might get in. Let's say it comes back to this line here and holds, I might get in. But if it pops, I'm not, right? If it pops, it's welcome to pop. Let's look at Ethereum. Evidently, Ethereum is cranking today and has made a new high. And and again, I don't chase something when it's making new highs. And I don't have any Ethereum right now because basically I wasn't sure if it was going to drop. We had, if you want, for historical purposes, we have the classic buy signal for me, rising bottoms and kind of double top here, and it's on a 1-day chart. So, and we already had that drop off before Christmas to take a lot of the excess steam out of the market. But it just seems, I don't know, I'm not gonna chase this baby. And that's the thing, is fear of missing out is a psychological factor for a lot of people. So Ethereum, if you have Ethereum and it's high, it might be a good time to buy some other stuff with it, I'm just a little wary of Ethereum, and I'm a little wary of Bitcoin because I'm a little wary of Litecoin. I'm a little wary of Dash because they're all really high compared to where I experienced them in the last 6 months. And I'm a little uncomfortable at the tops of things. I prefer to get in low, as I have said, buy low, sell high. And again, who knows? Ethereum might go to 10,000, right? And I could be a total idiot. So that's the thing, is you have to trade the way it feels right for you. And for me, I'd rather get in on a project that's a little earlier in its lifespan, so I'm not chasing some mirage or some idea. All right, IOTA against the US dollar. Now, IOTA is something that I'm in on, and I wasn't able to get it when I wanted to get it because I didn't know where to get it, and I figured out where to finally get it. And I think I'm in somewhere in this range. Of course, I wrote it down, but I don't remember that kind of stuff. But I am writing down every trade I make, so I now know where I'm getting in, so that I know, yeah, I'm definitely in profit. So I think I got in somewhere in IOTA. Where did I get in? I think I got somewhere in this middle range here, back here. Maybe it was here. I have to look it up. I think it was. I got a decent price, so I'm actually in the money a little bit here, and it looks like it might want to pop. We shall see. There's some resistance here, and of course there's resistance up here, in the $5 range. But I would be delighted if IOTA came up here to $5. I think that would be cool. And again, there's plenty of support here over the holidays. It barely, we did have a little crash splash, little flash crash on December 22nd, I think it was. But it's been holding steady ever since. And just we have the holiday kind of doldrums here. And now it looks like life is coming in. And I would like, if IOTA goes to $5, $6, $7, $10, I think that would be a decent value. This is an amazing project. It's an advanced project. It does not use blockchain. It uses the Tangle, and I think that's the wave of the future. I think blockchain is kind of like dial-up in many ways. It really is a great idea, and it got us where we needed to go, and I think it will be replaced with things that can handle a lot more data in the future, and the Tangle is one of those. This currency is designed to handle millions upon millions of transactions a second, and it's early in the project, and it's not at 11,000. It's not at 10,000. It's at $4.15, right? That to me makes sense. I feel better about that. So let's look at the 1 hour chart. Have I made my point, people? I probably have. Let me beat the dead horse. What are we looking at here on the 1 hour chart? I don't know. I'm seeing some pretty good energy, people. And, it's coming up here and testing this $4.21 range. So we'll see if it can, that's a pretty nice sideways trading range for the last week or so. And, it's come up and tested this spot several times. So you could call this a double top if you want, or a triple top. And we have rising bottoms on the 1 hour, and it's more than a day. So my take is that this could pop. this could pop. So that'd be cool. I like IOTA a lot. So read up on it, you know, look into it. Watch some interviews with the IOTA people. See what they're doing. Go to their website, you know, do your due diligence, people. And again, this is also self-hypnosis for me, and I haven't checked in with them lately, so I'm going to go and see what else is new with IOTA, where they're up to. I'm going to learn some more about them. Having learned about a bunch of other projects, I'm beginning to get a sense of what I like in a project and what I think is bullshit in a project, right? And there's a lot of projects that say they're going to solve this problem or that problem, or present some idea that, oh, we're going to help bank the poor. And to me, that kind of stuff, I don't trust that as much. And I like the idea of helping the poor, but at the same time, IOTA is all about providing the currency for machines to pay each other with. And that's pretty sci-fi, and it's pretty out there. However, I think it gives it a real purpose. And I think they have some vision, right? So whether or not they can pull it off, I don't know. But at $4, I'm willing to roll with them. You know, I'm willing to give them a couple of years and see what's going on. All right, so IOTA. Let's go back to let's go on to Litecoin. And again, I don't see any patterns here that I can reasonably say to you, yeah, that's a buy signal. It's not a buy signal. Litecoin is pretty high compared to where I got used to buying Litecoin. So I'm a little bit shy about jumping in. I do have some. I think I have a few of them, 4 of them or something. I don't know what I have. And again, for me, it's not about quantity. It's about the patterns and getting in at the good spot and getting out at a good spot, and then taking what I've gotten and reinvesting it in something that has really a lot of room to rock and roll. So that's my strategy. My strategy, as Bugs Buddy says, strategy. So Litecoin, what are you doing, Litecoin, other than going straight up? Like, I don't quite understand it, and there may be a lot of FOMO here. And Litecoin may be doing well because it's the only one that's really affordable over on Coinbase, right? And that's where most of new people are coming in. And we have rising bottoms on the 1-hour chart here. So that's a good sign. We got rising bottoms. I don't know where you want to do this. Rising bottoms. We got rising tops. You know, if I can draw a silly line here. Right? We got an upwards channel, and there's many hours in it. Don't know what to tell you. You know, I would not buy right here. I would not buy right here, but who knows, right? Just, I ain't buying right here. And, yeah, I'll keep an eye on Litecoin. What I want for Litecoin, for me to get back in, I want to see a nice long sideways pattern where it does nothing for a while. And where everybody goes, oh yeah, Litecoin, it's not moving. I like getting in on Litecoin when it's not doing anything. I don't know how I feel about this right here. So, and, okay. Did I say it? I said it. Neo. I made a lot of money with Neo, and then I got back in on the sideways chain, and I'm going to make some more money with Neo. And I may take some profits. And if I take profits from Neo, I might buy more Cardano with it. I might bore more Quantum. Might buy more Quantum. We'll see. So Neo's popping, baby. It's a popping. And again, don't chase these. I wouldn't chase this. But you see these little consolidations. These little consolidations here. These little babies. You know, on a 1-hour chart, you want to see it for a couple of days. Again, this is what I'm telling myself. Right? And I got in earlier on this. I really like Neo. And it felt like it had a lot of energy, so I got back in after I sold everything and took profits. So, but these are the kinds of things I'm looking for, and obviously it's not doing that now. It's kind of going parabolic. Or at least it's boosting nicely. So Neo, I might take some profits. We'll see. I'll be watching that today. Omise Go. Omise Go, I think is a good project, and even though it's up, we have a pretty nice little sideways pattern here on the 1 hour chart. You know, you could say the bottoms are rising, because they are. Bottoms are rising, and we have some decent resistance here at 21, 20, something like that. You know, it's in the middle of kind of a boost, but it's a pause, so it might be a place to get in. Omise Go is one of the ones I've been holding for a while. Let's pull back to the 1 day. And again, it's a project that I like, right? And I got in down here when it wasn't boosting. I got in on its fundamentals and the fact that it had a kind of a sideways channel, and it wasn't really going anywhere, but it wasn't crashing, it wasn't falling, it was just kind of, you know, losing steam a little bit, and I liked that. So Omise Go, I'm very pleased with that move, but I like it when it's quiet. I like a bit of quiet time so that I can reflect and have time to really think about something and learn about a project before I just jump in. So I would not really encourage you to get in here, but I'm encouraged from what I see that it seems to have enough energy to keep going for a little bit. So I'm going to keep an eye on Omise Go. Quantum on the 1 day chart, kind of showing similar signs that it might want to pop. And Quantum has their main net. They launched it back in September. They are a blue chip project. So if you don't have any Quantum and you want to get some, I'm not saying get some. I'm just saying this is a nice rising bottoms channel here. And it looks like it might want to pop. And if it pops, it's probably going to test the $71 top, the $71 range. So you got some room from 52 on up. And this is, again, a learning thing for me. I sold my Quantum, and then I kind of regretted having sold it because it kept rising, and then I got in on what I thought was a little pullback on its rise, and I think I'm in at 52. So right now, I'm even with my Quantum, but I already took a bunch of profits out of it, and this was my learning. Okay, once I take profits, do I get back in, or I just write it off and go look at something else? You know, so that was my learning curve on that. So we'll see. And anytime I lose money, for me, that's tuition. And I try to really learn anything and everything I can from when I do things that don't pay off. And you learn a lot more from your mistakes than you do from your successes, because successes lull you into thinking you know what you're doing, and I certainly don't. So, Quantum, let's look at the 1 hour chart real quick here. I think it's going to pop, people. I think it's a really good little spot to get in, because on the 1 hour chart we have, you know, several days of up and downing in this channel. And we have the bigger channel and we have this little channel. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4 significant tops in this smaller channel, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 significant bottoms in this lower channel, all pretty much hanging tight. So particularly, I mean, it almost feels like it's going to pop while we're watching it here. I mean, it's hitting 54 right now on this chart. I would be willing to bet it's going to pop. If it doesn't pop and it comes back down to this line, that would definitely be a buy signal. And again, Quantum and EOS, really right up there. Good projects, and they're still affordable. But people are looking for places, particularly people that have profits in Ethereum and Dash and other higher priced projects. They're looking to, where can I crank this? You know, where can I make my profits grow even more? That's what I do, you know. And when stuff is way up, yeah, I kind of lose interest in it. I want stuff down here where there's room to run. So, yeah, so we just saw it kind of test this thing right here. So keep an eye on Quantum. And let's keep cranking here, people. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for being willing to take a little time to explore this with me. And hopefully you're getting some of the stuff that I'm sharing with you, the things I'm learning. That's really what this is about. It's not about advice and how you're going to, you know, make $1 million. It's about how do you master your mind in the midst of all this information and all these choices, all these decisions you could make. And any one decision could make you money or cost you money, or at least make you feel good or make you feel bad, depending on how you're wired internally, right? Okay, XMR Monero. I think it's setting up for another run. I don't know if it's ready to do it or if we're going to have some sideways action. And if it kind of comes up to this 377 spot and then comes back down to this 297 spot, when it comes back down, to me, that would be a sign, okay, it might be time to get some more. It's in a sideways trading range. It has support. I want multiple support here on this bottom line. And I'd like to see multiple tops on this top line. And that's what I'm looking to do. So let's look at 1 hour chart here. And on the 1 hour chart, we have a pretty solid rise here. And we have room. Right now it's at, you know, a little bit of a resistance spot. But we have room to run to 410. So that could be a nice little spot. And again, I prefer these, you know, markets that are kind of moving sideways to kind of, I keep an eye on them. And again, if Monero comes back down to this yellow line, I might get some more, because I feel like it has room to go between 298 and 480. So we'll see. All right. That's Monero. Let's go to Ripple. Ripple was the only one over the holidays that showed any life. And I'm a little concerned about that, but this is a coin used by the banksters, and banksters are not my favorite people. However, I made some really good profits before the holidays on this, and one day I had a great practice session where I took half my Ripple and profits at 99 cents. I think I got in at 20 or something like that, and then I took the rest of my Ripple position out at $1.20, and it literally went up to $1.20 right here on this day. You know, and then I'd gotten so slammed by getting back into rising markets that I didn't get in again, because I wanted to wait and see what it was doing, and then it just boosted like crazy. So, however, when and if Ripple kind of goes into a sideways trading range, I will definitely keep an eye on it. Right now, not a place to get in at all, as far as I'm concerned. You know, we had a little bit of sideways trading range here on the last couple of days. That might have been an indicator to get in, but I was taking some time off, so I wasn't really watching it. But that's not a bad signal here in 2020 hindsight. You know, got at least 2 days, almost 3 days of kind of up and downing in a channel. And no fundamental reason for it to fall. So, and all the fundamental reasons for it to rise. And again, it's still only $2, people. So you don't have quite the same amount of feelings like you get when Bitcoin's at 20,000. Like, oh my God, is this sustainable? $2 is sustainable. You know what I mean? It's not that big a deal. In people's minds, again, this is the hypnosis of money. That's what I'm trying to get across here. So, yeah, Ripple, if it doesn't crank here and it comes back down on this line, I might look into it. I might look into getting me some. Last on this list is Zcash, and I don't have any Zcash left. I don't have any Zcash at all. I'm watching it on this 1 hour chart. Let me go to a 1 day chart first so I have something to compare the 1 hour chart to. Zcash is kind of in a bit of a sideways range here. Not a good spot to get in. If it does come back to this line down here, I might look into getting some more. Again, I watched Zcash as it fell down here, and I could have bought here, but I decided to just learn more about it. I don't know that much about it, and I think I'm preferring Verge right now because Verge has a lot more room to run than Zcash does. But I like all the privacy coins. I like Zcash. I like Monero. I'm liking Verge a lot. I just bought some Verge. So that's it, people, for my big ones, my heavy hitters. And right now, Cardano is the one I like the best. And this is not exactly the best time to get in. This is against Bitcoin. But over here, I just want to hit refresh here. Over here on the 7 day chart, looking good. It's at 77. And I got in down here. I think I got in at 44 or something. And I got in on Cardano, not so much as where it was on the charts, but because I liked the project so much. It's scalable, it's sustainable, and it's interoperable. Those are the three things that's like the holy grail with these cryptos. And it can handle, you know, the more people that use it, the better it works. They've borrowed some technology from BitTorrent. And my understanding of BitTorrent, according to the interviews I've watched with Charles Hoskinson, basically, if you download a movie that a lot of people want to watch, it downloads fast. If you download a movie that hardly anybody wants to watch, it downloads a lot slower. And that technology is like Mike Mulligan and the Steam Shovel, this children's story that I loved as a child. The more people watched Mike Mulligan and Marianne the Steam Shovel dig, the better and faster they did it. You know, so I like the idea with Cardano. But again, it's early in the project, and I picked up a lot of it, and I'm looking to get more of it. So anytime it goes into a sideways trading range, I'm going to pick up some more of it if I have the profits to do it. So really, for me, you want a project that I like a lot? That's Cardano. And Basic Attention Token is another one that I love. I love that it's going to disrupt the advertising industry because I really despise ads. I despise being constantly sold at and interrupted all the time. And the idea of Basic Attention Token is that we, the advertised to, will be paid for our attention. And that I like. Plus, I'm using the Brave browser, which is their creation, and this is a project by the guys who basically created Mozilla and Firefox, so they know what they're doing. And I think it has the potential to disrupt Google, which I like a lot. So Basic Attention Token, people. And again, anytime it has a dip, I'm going to get some more. See if there's anything else that I'm kind of keeping an eye on. This is a project called Byteball, which I am paying attention to, and this is a Bitcoin chart, so keep that in mind. It seems a little bit overpriced at the moment, so let's see if we can get a. And I want you to. I'm trying to figure out what this thing does, and if it's something that I'm excited about or not. Richard Hart. I heard about this from Richard Hart, and I respect his intellect. I don't agree with him on everything, but someone asked him what projects he was interested in, and this was the only one he mentioned because he's a pretty hard guy to please. And I'm like, well, if he likes this, I've got to learn about it. And they have a website. See if I can get there. Byteball.org. Smart payments made simple. And some of this I don't really get. Some of this I'm not a math guy. Some of this I don't get. But I think it looks like they're making some of the smart contract stuff usable for doofuses like myself. And it looks like they're using something similar to the Tangle for confirming and securing transactions. So I'm going to look into Byteball. I don't know if I want to buy any yet as a speculator, as an investor. We have rising bottoms here and we have rising tops. But the thing is, it's $783. I'm not sure. Yeah, you know what I mean? But it's an interesting project, so that's where I am. I'm looking at stuff, and I'm kind of deeper in a process where I'm paying attention to not just what I think, but how I feel. And I just really prefer these projects where I can buy a lot of stuff for a lot less and tie up a lot less of my capital. And where there seems to be a much larger upside. So that's kind of where I'm at psychologically. And let's look at 10x here. I think it's probably, this is against Ethereum. Let's get 10x up here on a US dollar chart. And 10x is one of these cards where you'll be able to load it with crypto and then use it anywhere you want. And it's kind of in a pretty large sideways trading range, but it's now moving up. And it's at $4.35. Not sure it's the time to get in, but I have some and I'm holding it. And if it goes parabolic, I'll probably take profits in it. I don't know how long a holder I'm going to be on this. So I think that's kind of it for the... I'm looking at a lot of different stuff. Verge. Where's Verge? XVG. This is Verge against Bitcoin. And I bought some of this yesterday because it looked like it was down. It was flat. And I wanted to pick something up that had some room to run when I sold my Stellar Lumens at a decent profit. All right, so look at Verge, people. Verge, it's got a ton of support down here, and it on the US dollar, which is how my head is wired. Still a good place to get in. It's got a lot of support down here, and it's got room to run. It's a really good project, privacy project, 16 cents. To me, I was like, I can buy a ton of Verge, and then I can take some profits as it rises, right? And I like that. That's where I'm going. That's what I'm doing. So it is day number 2 of my new 90-day challenge. And I kind of wanted to start the year fresh and not keep counting the days from back in July 31st when I started doing these videos, because really I bought my first Bitcoin in February or March of 2017. And I'm like, you know what? I want to start fresh. I've got 3/4, almost a year under my belt of experience, of learning, doing a lot of dumb shit. I got tangled up in Ponzi schemes, high yield investment programs back in August. I bought some Genesis mining contracts. That was a good thing. I did some dumb things. I did some good things. And eventually I realized, you know what? I have to learn to trade. I was hesitant to trade. I preferred my Exodus wallet, but the cost of trading in your Exodus wallet is, you know, you don't have the control to get in and out the way you want to. So I moved to Bittrex, and now I'm also on Binance. I think I opened an account at GDAX as well, which I haven't played with there. And ultimately, I'm looking forward to these truly decentralized exchanges that are being built right now. And I think Omise Go is one of those, but there's a bunch of them. And we don't know which ones are really going to dominate, which ones are going to be the easiest to use. I think this next year we're going to see a lot of improvement in user experience and things made easier. And I think that's one of Dash's big projects, is to make crypto so easy that your grandmother or your grandfather could just do it, no problem. So that's it, people. That's it. I gave you all I had today, and I wish you all the best. Happy New Year. And I think we're going to see this whole space really explode this year. And so do your best, learn every single day, and share what you've learned with a couple other people who you want to bring in, who you want to bring along. And we can change the world, one person at a time, one idea at a time. And it's time for us to take back our money, because your money, your financial life is too important to be left to the professionals and to the banksters. And been doing a lot of reading about that. I'll talk about that another time. But I believe in you guys. I appreciate you so much, and I appreciate your comments. And please subscribe. Give me those thumbs up thing. Ring the little bell. And that's it for today. I will see you tomorrow on the Morning Cryptos. This is Mark Shepard. And crank that crypto, people. Crank it, crank it, crank it. And let's start the music.